What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Saiffers BPat podcast. Today we're going to be talking about day 3 in Rome. We got a bunch of banger ATP WTA matches. We're moving into the part where all the people who had the buys are going to be playing, so there's a lot of big names in the tournament. As always, we're going to start off with WTA. Saiffers is going to kick it off. He's going to break us down in every detailed matchup, and we're going to discuss what we like, what we dislike, and just go from there.
All right. Welcome. Glad to be here. Day three. Doing this little podcast during the rain delay. Which kind of put a stop to a pretty good day, I think.
Most
It was
definitely.
looking pretty good. I was pretty excited for these last couple games. Um, excuse me. But yeah, let's get into day three. Actually, we're about to cover the entire second round of the WTA. So I'm gonna start with this. Like, we don't know the times or anything. So I guess we can just go through any random order for the games. So I'm gonna start with the worst one, which is Barty versus Shvedova. We don't really have to spend any time on this. Uh, I mean, Barty's a minus 3,000 favorite, laying 7.5 games. Like, she probably won't cover because she sucks. The total is 16 and a half. Um, but yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna bet this game. Like, there's no reason to discuss this game or bet this game or even watch this game. So yeah, do you just want to get to the next one?
Yeah, we can pass on that. That's definitely a fade for me. I think Barty at
Yeah,
sometimes just gives up too many points for how good she is, and it's just I don't think it's a pretty matchup at all to play. There's no really good pick here.
yeah. I mean, 7.5. That is a really big number. That's
Ridiculous.
like there's very little there's very little room for error. Like, like if she holds like two or three times, like your bet could probably lose.
Yeah,
But
most definitely.
anyway, um, all right. Next up, actually, one of the bangers of the second round, Coco Golf versus Maria. I'm gonna try and say this right. Sakari. Um, Sakari's a minus 240 fave, uh, laying 4 games. Honestly, man, this is tough because I do want to take the over and I do want to take Sakari as well. She's too big of a fave on the money line for that to be a play. And minus 4 is kind of ugly. I did see minus 3 after Coco Golf won, beat Putin. Um, but I don't know, man. I do lean over, but I do also want to back Sakari, and it's so hard to take uh favorite and over. Plus 4 and over would be nice, but if I had to pick one, I would go with the over 21 and a half for minus 106. I definitely see this being a really close game, 3 sets most likely. Neither of these chicks can really play consistently. I mean, and they both are pretty quality players, so I think they can each snag a set for sure, and we won't have to sweat the side.
Yeah,
What do you
I'm
think?
I'm in the exact same boat. But before I get into why I think that, so you kind of lean towards Zachary. If you saw the line move to like a -3.5, would you take that or would you hold off? I'm just curious. Just because I know you were looking at
Um,
-3, which obviously has better value than -3.5, but I was just curious as to what you might think.
um, it's definitely possible. I mean, minus three and a half, and minus 4 are essentially the same thing. But minus 3.5, like minus 4 would most likely push, if not lose, in 3 sets.
Yeah,
Like, it's really hard to win a minus 4 in 3 sets, I think. But minus 3.5 does give me some hope in case she does win by 4 games in 3 sets. So I would probably take that. Yeah, I would probably take that action.
yeah,
I mean, I might still end up backing Sakari one way or another during the game live. Like, say she loses the first set, and I'm like, all right, let's go. 2-1 Sakari win. Like, I'll take her money line. But yeah, no, good question. I might do it. I like both equally, honestly, but I feel like the over will be the better bet, the easier bet.
yeah, for sure. I'm on the over as well. I think both of these players are kind of in the same level of skill. Both of them are not quite cracking the top. Where are they ranked? They're not really. Sakari is ranked 19, but neither of them, in my opinion, are really cracking that like top 15, 20. They're sitting right on the outside, kind of getting some good wins here and there, some notable wins, but really losing when it comes to good competition or even average competition. But yeah, I see a definite like hammer for the over. Not massive, but I think it's a pretty solid bet. At 21.5, I would have probably expected this to maybe be 22, which I know is really high for WTA, but I mean they tend to play in 3 sets. Sakari loves to lose big in the first set or take a lead
Yep.
and then blow the second set. So she's super inconsistent. And like we talked about before, she's one of those hot and cold players where if she comes out and she's playing her A game, she can really run the table, but not consistently enough to like really back her in every single matchup. But I would lean towards her if the games were to move. I don't think I'd be taking -4, just because my level of confidence in the over is a little bit better. So yeah, the over would be the pick here for me for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfectly said. Maria Sakkari, I would like her to win this game. I think both of these chicks need this win, and I mean I think that's like really obvious to say, but I think it would do them a lot of good if they picked up this game. Even though they're already in the second round, a little run here would be nice for both of them who kind of lack that consistency. And they're both quality players who are definitely capable of winning a lot of games, making runs in tournaments. So we haven't been seeing that from either of them. So
Yeah. But
like,
before we
it'll
move
be a
on,
good one.
I got one thing to say about this. The winner of this matchup will be taking on Sabalenka. That's all I
Yes,
gotta say.
sir.
That's all I
Yes,
gotta
sir.
say. So
Which brings us to Arena Sabalenka, the one and only, versus Sara Sorribes Tormo. Um, Honestly, BPat, um, like I always say, Sabalenka should be at least -6.5 every time she plays. She could very easily cover that anywhere, anytime against anyone. Um, but my play here is going to be on the under. I like rocking unders with
yeah,
the heavy faves just to get that get that hook in my favor a little bit. So under 18 and a half, a 6-3 would be golden for us. Whereas it would push the -6. So I'm gonna rock with under 18 and a half. It is kind of scary because Soriba Stormo can pull off some crazy shit sometimes. Um, and we may see, I don't want to say it, but we may see like a 7-5, 7-6, or God forbid, Sabalenka might drop a set for the first time in like
I
uh
don't believe it.
six matches. I don't believe it either. But I'm gonna definitely rock with the under 18 and a half. It is kind of scary, um, having not seen her play in Madrid yet. But I'm not too worried, honestly. Sara Sorribes Tormo had a marathon match, longest game of the year, longest three-setter of the year, um, in the WTA, almost 4 hours yesterday. So
She's got to
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
feeling it.
I
She's
feel like
got to be feeling it.
yeah, definitely.
Um, so originally when I saw this matchup, like you said, -6.5 was kind of the expected line here. So when I saw -6, that like jumped out to me as like the big thing. But you've really started to open my eyes, just not just this matchup, but just in general to kind of compare that with the over under. Um, but yeah, I like Sabalenka -6. I also like the under here. Originally I was the -6 was my more confident pick, but the under seems to be probably the safer bet. Like you said, the 6-3, 6-3. I don't think that this will be any type of contest as long as this is definitely a heat check for Sabalenka. Um, but
Oh yeah.
I think she's gonna continue. I just don't see her letting up. I think she really wants that top spot, and I think she'll get it, and I think she's just gonna steamroll anybody in her way, and I just don't think SST has it in the tank. SST lost to Halep in Madrid by 8 games. She took her to a 7-5, but what is that total? Is that 18? Yeah, 18 in that one. So the under would have hit there as well as the spread. She lost to Irani in Bogota. So she's not that great on clay, and that marathon match you were talking about wasn't against a very impressive opponent. So yeah, I don't think you could go wrong with either the under or Sabalenka -6. I don't see a reason to play both, so I'll more than likely take the under with you, but I think both of them are safe bets.
Absolutely. I'm excited for this. Just to see Arena back on the court. I think that's exciting
I
enough.
know.
Um, if we can cash under 18 and a half too, that would be great. Um, but anyway, moving on. For this game, I don't see no total or spread yet, but I would like to discuss the game nonetheless. Uh, Veronika Kudermetova, who played a absolutely fantastic game today. Um, against Caroline Garcia, who you were backing. She did also perform pretty well today.
I got
But
the
I just
lines
want
right
to say,
here if you want. So
oh, you got a total and spread.
I don't have it on my book, but Bovada has the spread listed at 4 games. The money line -275 for Kudermetova, and the over under is 21.
Oh, okay. Well,
Got you thinking there, huh?
no, yeah, it got me thinking for sure. I mean, I don't see nothing on this game except for money line, plus 215 Garcia, minus 275, like you said, for Kudermetova. Um, but my lean here would be Kudermetova in straights or the spread. -4 is definitely nice. Like I would take that. It's not a 4.5. I would definitely jump on a 4 immediately if I saw it. Um, but yeah, Kudermetova today against Elise Mertens. That last 1 hour of the match, which is like the last set and a half, like halfway through the second set, to throughout the rest of the match in the third set, that was the best hour of tennis I've seen her play all year, and she's been pretty good all year. But this is the best I've seen her play, and I was loving every bit of it. She is so underrated. She has no quit in her. She can make all kinds of shots, super athletic. She's really fast on the clay. She slides like Nadal. Um, and Garcia, man, I don't think she's about that. I think she'd be pretty happy considering her lack of playing time and lack of form to be even in the second round. And I think Kudermetova, playing a much easier opponent now, is just gonna like absolutely, shred her. So I'm
Yeah,
saying either straight sets for Kudermetova or the -4.
I think both of those are hitting. I honestly, when I read that lineup to you, I was kind of surprised. I expected that sharp line, like -4.5, maybe even -5. I think this is no competition. It's almost shocking to me. Garcia,
Right, of course.
since I was back in Garcia, I was watching that match, and she really struggled to get going. She got broken pretty quick. I think it was the third game. Was down 2-1, and then actually broke back, and then it was tight all the way to the tiebreak where her opponent had 2 set points, and she was able to pull it out. But I don't see any value behind Garcia other than the fact that she took Halep in Miami, which was a hard court, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Yeah, so that was on hard
Yes,
court.
Miami was hardcore. Yeah.
Um, but I think Kudermetova has such an advantage here on clay. She's been playing phenomenal tennis. She's been taking down big names too, and this matchup in the first round against Mertens just showed the level that she's at, and it shows you kind of the potential of where she's gonna go. She's trending. Everything about her game is trending in the right direction, and I honestly might lock in -4 right now, just because I think we're gonna see it move to -4.5, -5 potentially.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely spot on, bro. Like -4 is a perfect line to jump on. I think at worst that pushes.
Yeah,
But I like that to win for sure. Um, but yeah, bro, that's the thing. I feel like Kudermetova's con- like she continues to be disrespected with some of these lines. I mean, I know Mertens beat her in Istanbul, but no way should Kudermetova have opened uh, a plus 150 against Mertens. All things considered. So I don't know. I feel like there is a lot of value on this. I think even her straight sets. I don't see it, but I think that would also be a really good bet that uh, we might get for a nice price.
Yeah, for
So
sure. I think that one would probably be a little bit higher, or maybe not, just based on the game spread. But I do think she's being extremely undervalued. She's being overlooked. That'll change, but
first,
we might as well ride that train while they're oblivious to her game. So
yeah, bro, definitely, definitely, man. I like her. I like her a lot. She's on the same side as I think if she wins and Barty wins, I think she plays Barty. Um, which I would love to see her beat Barty, but then Sabalenka would probably face Kudermetova, and then I'd be so torn because I would love to see um, Sabalenka beat Barty again. But anyway, we'll get there when we get there. Next up, Barbora Krejcikova versus Sophia Kenin. Sonia Kenin, man. Um, so Sonia Kenin has been one of the biggest disappointments on tour. She, she had like a kidney stone. She had to do surgery a couple times. She hasn't really played much this year. When she has played, really struggling with her match fitness. Really out of rhythm, out of sync. Her form is terrible. But she is a Grand Slam champion. She won uh, not this year's not this year's edition of the AO, but the previous one. And in last year's French Open on the clay, she made a run all the way to the final, and she looked super good. Lost to Iga Swiatek in the end. Um, but I know everyone knows that she's a capable clay courter. She's very good. Uh, but she's kind of struggling this year. I would love to see her win. I'm actually a fan of her. She's a really good player. It kind of hurts to see someone who you know is good. Like everyone knows they're good, but they're just struggling really bad. Um, and I think this line reflects that. She's a plus 130 dog against Barbora Krejcikova, who, oh my god, really doesn't impress me. Like I said this yesterday. She beat Zhang today, I think 6-2, 6-love,
yep.
which I mean is a stomping, but Barbora really isn't like that. Plus 130 is probably at play on the side for 1 unit or less, just out of the sheer value on Kennen, but also as a fan, like come on Sonia, like get this win.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it'd be nice to see her on the court nonetheless.
Okay,
What
so
about
you
you?
would lean Kenin money line? Is that what you're looking towards?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually, when I first started watching WTA, was last year, and Kenin was on her game, or it last. It might have been 2 years ago. I think it was whenever she beat Muguruza in one of the finals. I ended up
Oh,
betting on her as a dog, and then betting on the over two, and both of them hit, and I was ecstatic. Um, but yeah, I
yeah,
haven't.
that was that Australian
It was
Open
okay.
final.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the
2019.
beginning of WTA for me, and I ever since. I mean, I've been loving it. But yeah, looking at their previous play, um, as you said, Krejcikova, she just doesn't impress on any front. She doesn't really do too much deep in tournaments, other than in Dubai. She made it to the final, but we're looking at a different service here, different type of game, and she just hasn't really gotten the job done. Her only two wins have been against very inferior opponents. One of them even going to three sets. But personally, here this is a fade for me, just based off of the fact that I know Kenin will get her grounding again, and she will start to progress. But I just don't know if I'll be on it, just based off of her recent performance and her inability to really show up on clay or any court for that matter. So this one's a fade for me. I think it'll be a good one to watch just to see where Kenin is in terms of like the competition though. But I think there's value
Absolutely.
as her with her as a dog. I think there's definitely value. Krejcikova could easily just show no skill. Okay, I don't want to say no skill, but she could definitely just completely get swept here. So I think getting Kinnan at plus money, given her track record over the years, she's definitely the should be the favorite, or at least be a little bit closer here.
Yeah, man, you're totally right. I think this would be a nice game to tune into and maybe put a little money on. Just as a fan, really, not as like nothing from a better or capper standpoint. But yeah, um, should be good, man. Good luck to Sonia Cannon.
Yeah.
Next up, Next up, the biggest mismatch, and I'm absolutely shocked looking at this line. As soon as we're done with this, I'm gonna lock this in. Iga Swiatek versus Madison Keys. Iga Swiatek is only, and I say only, a 5 game favorite. Madison Keys should not be playing pro tennis. Um, I don't know how she beats Sloane Stevens today. I mean, Stevens, she blows. Um, and neither one of them deserve to be in the second round. And Iga Swiatek should not. She should be a minus 10 favorite. Like 6-1, 6-1 is what I'm saying. I'm gonna take Iga Swiatek or the under 20 maybe. But I'm definitely gonna play either one of those. As always with the bigger favorite spreads. Like we were saying, I do like to go under. Um, but yeah, this is a no-brainer. I think he stands no chance. Under 20 looks good to me.
All right. Well, for me, this one, it it was kind of tough for me. Like you've told me all about Keys and that she's really kind of undeserving of her top 25 rank. Um, and it shows from her past play. Swiatek, she kind of was a little rocky against Risk, who has Risk is obviously falling apart as a tennis player. Retiring in the second set of that match, or in the first set actually. Um, but yeah, it's hard for me to pick a side here. Swiatek, I for some reason just don't know if I could believe in her or trust her, but she does have a very good shot of just kind of running this game if Keys is really who you describe her as. But
No.
but since I haven't really seen too much from either of them, you're gonna hear a lot of fades from me, but this is another fade. I just think there's so many other options on the table for me, so I don't think I'll be playing this one. But if I were, I'd probably back you just based off of what you said and kind of explain that this could be, or that -5 is kind of just disrespectful to Swiatek. It should be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Madison Keys, like against Sloane Stevens, she will try her hardest. Like that is a like a there's like a friend, like they're BFFs. She even said it in the interview afterwards. She's like, "Oh yeah, my BFF." Like, like for them girls, actually, like they love to play their friends like they want to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which is kind
yeah,
of weird. It's a weird dynamic. You'd expect the opposite. Um, but no, like when you play like you're like a close friend of yours, like they really show up for that. Um, but I think Madison Keys, knowing like being in the stage of her career that she's in right now, I think she knows that she stands no chance. I think Wojtek knows that this is a perfect opportunity for her to snap right here and get going in this tournament. Um, so yeah, I mean, I like it. It's not the you know, I'm not like super confident about it,
yeah,
but everything makes sense. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So
All
under
right,
20.
let's move on. Let's keep a good pace here. Who we got next?
All right, Bernardo Pera versus Garbine Muguruza.
I like this one. I like this one a lot. You want me to kick this one off?
Yeah, yeah, since you
So
like it.
I'm not sold on any picks here, but I kind of want to lean the over. Not
Mm,
Yeah, I know exactly. Um, Solely based off the fact that Pera is playing some of her best tennis right now. She honestly, she was the dog today. We both bet on her. Did you bet on the money line or did you just do the over?
I'm not gonna lie, I just took the over. Same with Millman. I mean, looking back at it, I feel like that was a good call. But at the time, I just felt like I'm gonna just rock with the over.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I ended up taking. It sucks because I took 2 U on the over, 1 U on Pera. But I think Pera can keep it close. I'm not sold on the over just based off the fact that Muguruza is a dominant player. She showed that today in her return from her thigh injury. And I think that we could see. I don't know. The more I look at it, the more I may lean Muguruza -4.5. It's just Petra is hard to bet against right now for in terms of like the under. I just think she might be able to pull a set. She's been able to in some of her bigger matchups in the recent tournaments, and Bincic in the last tournament, who I know is a fade now for me. Kurumatova in Istanbul took her to 3 sets. I see some value in the over. I don't see the line. It's not posted on here, but yeah, I would lean the over or Muguruza -4.5. That's just something that I'll have to look over a little more and then kind of decide on in the future. But those are the two that I'm kind of just peeking at. What about you?
Oh yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I think you broke that down pretty well. Those are also the two sides I would consider. However, on the total, I'm sort of more neutral. Um, it's hard to really tell
The over under is 20.
which yeah, it's hard to tell like which way that's gonna go. However, I do like Muguruza to cover that number. Sort of like 4.5 is such a tricky number, as we both know. But if you kind of look at it the other way, like if you have Bernardo Pera plus 4.5, I mean 4.5, like one of those is gonna hit. Like you got a hook on both of them, and like just think about it. If I had Bernardo Pera plus 4.5, I would be feeling so shitty about my bet the entire game. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Which means I think the other side would be the move. Muguruza laying 4.5. Even if this somehow does go to 3 sets or even like a 7-5, I feel like Muguruza at some point in one of these sets will definitely find her rhythm, get in her groove, and absolutely stomp Pera. So
Okay.
I think this could be a gift of a line, low key. I think like once we see this game play out, you'd be like, wow, -4.5 only.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that's the move.
Okay. Yeah. You've kind of convinced me. I'm gonna kind of wait a little bit, decide, because I think this match is gonna be pushed for the next day, just based on I think there's gonna be limited matches tomorrow, and then also with the rain delays and everything, since they both played today / yesterday, whatever time you're listening to this. I think that this will get pushed back. So yeah, I think we got a little bit of time to look over it, but I do think that the 4.5 is kind of mainly based off of the fact that Muguruza hasn't really played too much due to injury, but she showed that she's back today and she played phenomenal. Some of the shots she was hitting was just incredible to watch. Some great tennis out of
Oof.
her. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, bro. She makes some shots that I don't think I've ever seen on the WTA tour. Um, yeah, so crazy. Anyways, I look forward to it. Moving on. Oh my God, this might be my favorite game on the entire slate. Elena
Sevastova?
Svitolina. No,
Oh,
no,
any
no.
okay.
Amanda Anisimova versus Elena Svitolina. Wow. Svitolina is only -175, and I don't really like her. But I think right here she's undervalued. -3 games. I absolutely cannot turn that down. I'm not a huge fan of her game. I think she's declining like ever so slightly. Every tournament, every year. Um, but no, she's still head and shoulders way like she's clear of Anisimova. I think -3 is an absolute gift. And I would not be myself if I don't take that line. As much as I hate Svitolina,
That's fair.
hate's a strong word, but I absolutely love this bet. This will probably be one of my top plays. Um, I don't see Anisimova covering +3. So yeah,
I
easy
believe
one.
it.
Yeah, sorry. One more thing, money line. Like you, I might just rock with that. Like personally, like -175 is a big number, but I seriously don't see Svitolina dropping this game. She's not about to lose her first match in back-to-back tournaments, and Anisimova is way worse than Jill Teichmann. And I know a lot of people sleep on Jill Teichmann, but I don't think Amanda Anisimova can do what Jill Teichmann did. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
What say you?
when I first looked at this, the over was kind of what I was leaning towards. Um, and I also was somewhat leaning towards Svitolina for the -3 as well, because I feel like Svitolina is definitely going to win this match, like you said. And I think -3 kind of coincides with the money line in a way. I think that even if a set is dropped in ANISIMOVA's favor, I think there will be at least one or two sets where Svitolina just kind of runs the table and wins like 6-3, 6-2, something like that. So I think -3 is solid. I think the over is solid as well, but I know it's always hard taking the over along with a favorite in the game spread. But yeah, I like both, to be honest. That's one of the ones where I'll definitely be kind of thinking over it as I before I lock in my bets and my picks. But yeah, I'm kind of rocking with you on the Svitolina -3, and then the over would be definitely a lean for me as well.
Yeah, man, I look forward to this one. Usually when I back someone I don't like, I know it's a good bet because I know I'm not being emotional,
Yeah.
and usually I do quite well on those. Like if I ever back someone who I usually fade, like I know I might be onto something. But let's see. Hope this works out. All right, next one. This is the very close second best game of the slate, I think. Um, it's the one you mentioned, Karolina Pliskova versus Anastasia Sevastova. Um, this is, you know, short and sweet. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna take the dog and over. You know, bread and butter bet for us. I
Over
think
all
you
day,
agree with
baby.
me.
Over all day.
Yep.
I'm
All
not
right,
sold on the dog
Sevastova and
yet,
over is
but
what I'm saying.
I like the value in doing the over with the dog. We love those plays. And the over is definitely my solid number one pick right here. Um, but yeah, if you
Oh
want to go a
yeah,
little more
you
depth or anything.
absolutely can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to say, I think honestly, speaking, Sevastova might have been a little bit fortunate to beat Jill Teichman in the first round. However, I think, uh, you know, considering the fact that she actually won that game and came out on top and she's playing here, I think that those are the world of good. Um, Karolina Pliskova is not like that anymore. She hasn't really been impressive. She'll do enough for this game to go over for sure, or at least I hope so. Fuck, but
I think so. I
I'm
think so.
gonna. Yeah. No, it definitely looks good. But I like Sevastova in three. I think that's a fairly easy read. I think.
Yeah. This is like that.
I think.
It fits the mold exactly of the dog and over right here, as what we've been playing. It fits that so perfectly.
Yep, exactly. Right. Like everything falls into place. It just makes sense. It looks good. It feels good. Um, Sevastova, man, she got game. I think these two played in Dubai. I was actually there for that game. I was in the stadium. I had a plus 3.5 Sevastova when they played that game. It was on hard court. If I remember correctly, Pliskova 6-4 first set.
6-3.
Second set
6-3.
tiebreak 6-3 first set.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And then Sevastova won the tiebreak 7-6, and then just got stomped in the third. Um,
6-2. Yeah.
which yeah, which was shitty to see. But man, does she play like I don't know, like looking at her play, I was like, this chick is really like she's playing. And on the clay, she is better. Pliskova is not. Um,
I was about to
I
say
like
that.
Sevastova here.
Yeah, I was about to say Sevastova is just like she's much better of a clay player than a hard player, and the fact that she took her to 3 sets on a hard court is pretty impressive in my book. And with like Pliskova's kind of regression and her kind of losing track of where she was going with her game, and at the same time Sevastova is really finding her groove. I think this is a perfect setup for the money line over for sure. The
Hell
dog over.
yes.
All right,
Yeah, this should be good.
who we got next?
Who we got next? All right, Petra Kvitova versus Vera Zvonareva. All right, man. It blows my mind how Zvonareva is still playing here. She's at every tournament, man, and it blows my mind. Let me tell you something. Kvitova and Zvonareva have played 6 times. They played each other 6 times. The last time they played was in 2011. Just think about that for a sec.
That's crazy.
They played 6 times. Yeah, from 2009, first game they played each other 6 times in those 2 years. and now that 10 years later, this is their seventh meeting, which tells you a lot about these players. They're similar in age. However, uh, Petra Kvitova has not declined that much. She's definitely not as good as she used to be. I mean, peak Kvitova was unreal, but Zvonareva is just not like that. Again, she's one of them players. Like I think in her head, like approaching this game, she'll be more than happy that she made it here. Won a first round game. Uh, you know, I went through qualies. I won the first round. I play Petra Kvitova now. It's been a good week.
Yeah.
So
What's your
Petra
play?
Kvitova minus 4.5. What are you saying?
So I'm actually leaning towards the over here at a flat 20. Um, Mainly because, like we've talked about before, Kvitova isn't on the top of her game, although she is playing. I mean, she's winning, she's getting the job done, but it's taking her a little bit of time. She's clearly the better player here. In the last, obviously, it's been over 10 years, but in those matchups in the past, the only two times they met on clay, Kvitova won by 6-1, 6-4, and then the other time was 6-4, 6-0. So on clay, I think she's just a much better player. Zvonareva's having a good year on clay, but I think the over is in play here. Zvonareva is coming off a pretty high quality or somewhat high quality win in dominant fashion, so I think she's going to be eager to jump out and try to stick with the pack. So I think the over here at 20 is a solid number. We're not looking at a 21 and a half. I think that's definitely doable, and that's probably the side I'll be rocking with.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, man, Zvonareva continues to, what's the word? She continues to surprise me, honestly. Like every time I say it, like every time I see her play, I'm like, all right, she's probably gonna lose today. Like that's it. But then she wins, and then I say it again next round. But yeah, she could keep this close. I'd be surprised though. Players like Kvitova, Muguruza, like after getting past that first round, whatever, like um, like even for them, like they're kind of nervous, like playing these tournaments with such huge expectations. So once like you're in the second round against someone that's not so great, you're like, you kind of get that confidence, or like,
Yeah,
all right, let's
yeah.
fucking do this. Let's get going. So I mean, we both know that if Kvitova snaps like this,
There's no
um,
competition. Yeah.
yeah, Zvonareva's dead in the water. Um, but anyway, should be good. Wow, so I'm excited for this next one. Nadia Podoroska um, versus Serena Williams, the GOAT. Um, wow, so Serena's long-awaited comeback to the tour. Hasn't played since the Australian Open, um, which feels like years ago now. Um, so no games, no clay. Her being like a superstar, like a lot of people have been, putting out rumors there. Like, oh, like Serena's been practicing, she's in really good shape, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
A lot of people are
A lot of hype.
speculating
Yeah.
like, oh, like I don't think she's in good shape. Like you hear all sorts of different things. I don't know what to believe. Personally, I don't think she will be like match fit, but I mean it is Serena Williams after all. Um, I think this is really really tough. The line kind of indicates that. I think it's a trap. I feel like they're baiting you to take Serena. Money line is only 200, minus 200, and 3.5 is the spread. So, ay, ay, ay. Honestly, bro, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go dog and over again. I
Money
know
line.
this plus 3.5 games and over
Okay.
21.
So I'm gonna take the bait that they're throwing out there. I'd probably lean Serena, and it's probably a little bit because I'm American. I want to see her come out. I want to see her like just jump back in like she never left. She had a great showing in Melbourne, even though it was a few months ago. I just I want to think that she's gonna come out and be the Serena that we all love to see. I think 3.5. I think It's in that line. Yes, it is kind of a bait line, but it's also, I think it would be a little too high if you're looking at -4.5 just because she hasn't played in that long. But I think she can get it done in straight sets here, just based off of the fact that Podoroska hasn't really played too much competition. And when she has, she's come up short, normally by 4+ games. So I'm gonna rock with the favorite here.
All right, fair enough. I hope Serena wins. I definitely want to see more of her. Um, low key, perhaps I might want to fade her later on. But the point is, I think this will be a good game. I definitely am more confident in the over than the spread, but I'd like to think that those two go hand in hand sometimes. If we see three sets, hopefully the +3.5 is looking good in the third. So yeah, should be good, man.
Yeah, let's move
Should
on.
be good. Um, all right, Kristina Mladenovic versus Petra Martic. Both of these chicks beat your bets. When I saw this, I thought of that and I was kind of laughing to myself.
You didn't have to bring
None of
that up,
these,
okay?
none of
two of
these
my
chicks
three
are quality
losses. Two
players.
of my three losses come to these two girls.
Yep, and they play each other. So hopefully,
I can't.
hopefully you get one back.
I know. I need it.
um, Petra Martic beat Shelby Rogers. First one of the year. Good for her, honestly. This stage of her career, it's nice to see her like get back on track. She can definitely perform. Same with Kristina Mladenovic. She beat the 10, I believe, yes, the 10 seed, Belinda Bencic. As a lucky loser, she lost in qualies, but got a spot. And like I always say, like those chicks, like all right, I have nothing to lose, and she showed it. She beat Belinda in straights.
Yeah.
But too tough to pick a side. I'd be tempted to take Christina just because of the value.
Same.
Plus 133 is all right, considering Petra has only won one game this year out of I don't know how many, maybe like uh, 6, 7, or 8. Um, can she win 2 in a row? I don't know, but I definitely lean over. I definitely like the over here. I think this will be a good match. Maybe not a lot of quality, but I think it'll be a good contest for sure. Uh, love the over, and I slight lean on Christina moneyline.
Yeah, that's honestly, I'm in the same boat. I was looking at Christina Moneyline as well. Probably one I'll stay away from, but that would be my lane just for the value, like you said. She's at plus money. I don't think Martic is in any position to be a favorite here, no matter the matchup. Well, that okay.
Facts.
There's some pretty bad people in here, but uh, I just don't see much reason behind why she would be the favorite. Um, Mladenovic, she's been kind of shaky, especially losing to Zvonareva in the qualifiers, but she came back, got her revenge with Bencic today, and just kind of smacked her around a little bit. But yeah, I think that would be my pick here too, is the dog in the over, because I do think this could
Yes,
go
sir.
three
Yes,
sets
sir.
for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. It'll be like a cat fight. It does seem like it'll be like one of them really long, close games.
Yeah.
7-5s and tie breaks and that. But anyway, to my favorite pick of the day, along with Vitalina, Ekaterina Alexandrova versus Jennifer Brady. Um,
Uh-oh.
this line don't even make no fucking sense, man. Uh, Ekaterina continues to be disrespected, odds wise, just like Kudermetova, probably even more. This chick pulls off some insane wins as a dog, um, and she's consistent. Like she'll never totally shit the bed like that. Um, it did kind of look it against Halep, but I mean that's Simona Halep. Just sort of doing Simona Halep things. But I mean against Jen Brady on clay, oof. I'm gonna take the Alexandrova's money line all day. This will probably be one of my highest rated plays of the day, along with Svitolina. But Yeah, she never lets me down, so I'm gonna do it again. She beat Kostyuk yesterday, I think. She had 11 double faults. However, I think the score was like 6-3, 6-2, something
Six
like
three,
that.
6-1.
I
Yeah.
mean, 6-3, 6-1, and she had
Yeah.
11 double faults. Like just think about it, like without those double faults, like she's hard to beat, I think. She's really good. She looked really good on the clay. Marta Kostyuk is, I'd probably say, on the same level as Jen Brady on the clay. So
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
go with Alexandrova.
so this is gonna go against kind of what you're saying. I like the way you explain that. That just like there's a lot of value there, and she's being disrespected because I think this could be damn well near an even matchup. As far as the odds go, my first instinct was to kind of lean Brady -2. And I know you dislike that because I sent it to you earlier, and you were just like, "Bro, come on now." But I just I think Brady can definitely pull it out. I know this one will be probably a close matchup. I don't know. I don't have a good read on this one, so it's not something that I'm like, oh, like I'm not as confident in taking this play as you are in taking the dog here. So this is probably another one where I'll probably fade or not fade the game, fade the match, not fade you, just based on your confidence level in the opposing side. So this one will probably be a fade, but I would probably lean Brady -2 here.
Fair enough. I mean, I do kind of worry when I consistently back someone that they'll finally, underperform or sort of kind of live up to the fact that they're underdogs. But
Yeah.
I don't put too much stock into these odds. I personally, I mean, trying to eliminate bias here, like I think the wrong person is favored, to put it simply.
That's fair.
Um, but yeah, let's see how this goes.
One more
So the
matchup.
last game on the slate, Naomi Osaka versus Jessica Pegula. What a really interesting match. Both of these players haven't been fantastic on the clay at all, especially Osaka, considering her level. Um, being the world number two, winning the AO this year. There's a huge drop in performance from surface to surface. However, Pagula's kind of the same until she played Kasatkina yesterday, where she looked fantastic. I think that's a huge confidence boost for her. I mean, Pegula, like, she's very talented, really good player, solid player. She has an all-round game. I mean, so does Osaka. Both of these chicks have a very similar fair style. I think the line is fair. I don't think there's value anywhere except the over. Over 20 and a half would probably be the best bet to make here. I wouldn't be comfortable with either spread, honestly. Um, Being a flat four, I think it's too close to call. So I think over 20 and a half is cool. I think both chicks will do enough, honestly.
Okay. Well, my take on this, I don't know if you've noticed a trend of me wanting to kind of fade the last game of the day or the last match of the day, but it just for some reason on the last matches I just never seem to really get a read that I can really put any confidence behind. This one I could really see going either way. It depends on who's going to show up. They both have had some disappointing losses, and um, I think the over is a little tough to take here just because both opponents can get blown out on any given day. Osaka showed it in Miami against Sakari. Pegula showed it in Madrid against Sabalenka, which that one's kind of different because we know Sabalenka is an absolute monster.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, we know how that goes.
yeah, but I don't really see value on anything here. At least not worth putting money on the line for. So this is a fade for me for sure.
All right, fair enough. Well, that concludes our second round matchups. There are one or two more games, I think, that we didn't cover because those matchups aren't even out yet. They're still playing the first round. I think Cornet, Kerber, Ostapenko, and I think Bodrusova and Tomjanovic.
Yeah,
Um,
y'all can
but
find
yeah, it
those
should be good.
picks in the Discord, man.
Oh yes, of course. On the Twitter, if we do end up playing or playing one of the matchups, you'll find it on our Twitter or the Bearded Betters Discord for sure.
I need to start posting mine on Twitter. But yeah, that wraps up the first the second round of the WTA for the most part, other than those couple matchups. And we can move on to some ATP.
Yes, sir. What a day in the ATP. I think it's a little more clear. All right, so for the ATP, some of these, I think, most of these are second round games. Um, I believe so. The ATP schedule's a little bit messed up because I think they started a day early, and today they had round one and round two games, which is kind of weird. Um, but anyway, let's jump into it. First up, RBA versus Garin. Man, this is a tough matchup. Both of these players are capable of making runs in tournaments. Both of these players are capable of putting on like really good performances. However, having said that, Garin is plus 130 on my end. Um, I'm gonna regret this, but I'm a rock with Garin. That'd probably be my pick. Um,
I like that.
I
I
just
agree.
feel like he can do enough to pull off a little upset here and overpower RBA, who is the better mover. Like he's very good on court. Uh, he like chases every shot, but I think Garin has too much power for him if he serves well. And doesn't fuck up too much. I think Garin could be good.
Yeah, I like that too. That's one of those lines where it's like kind of when we've been taking the dog and the over on most of the matchups, it's been really like that. And Garin, his best play is on clay. That's obviously apparent. And then RBA, he's been good. Like he's pretty much on par with where he should be. Nothing too crazy, but getting the job done pretty frequently. Tommy Paul, not too hard of a matchup in the first round. Garin had
Hmm.
a pretty easy one as well with Harris. Started off a little slow, but won the second set 6-2. But yeah, I think if I were to go aside here, I'd probably go Garin. I just think there's better value in taking him at money line than trying to predict the game spread when it's only two. Um, Especially since I could see this going 3 sets. And whether they're close sets or not, -2 is always like a shaky number unless you're really confident in the favorite.
Yeah, I think this should be a lot closer than it is. They're both, they both prefer the clay court, so um, should be interesting.
Yeah, most definitely.
Man, I don't more competitive. It's nice to see. All right, next up, Matteo Berrettini versus John Millman. Um, both of these guys had impressive wins today. I'm not sure they play tomorrow, but regardless, Millman is a plus 500 dog, which I think you can justify. This is a bit of a tough one. I would like to say over. Because considering Basil took a set of Berrettini, I don't know if Millman can do that, but a flat 20 is a small number. Um, I mean, Millman came through for us today, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna pass on this. I think it's a little tricky, honestly.
Yeah.
Hard
Um,
to rate.
for me, I don't think Millman can take a set from Berrettini. Personally, I don't think he's on clay, at least on the level that Basil's on. Just on clay in like recent play. He did take Evans to 3 sets, but Evans has been a little shaky here and there, as we saw in his recent loss. But yeah, if I were to, this would be a fade for me too. But if I were to lean aside, it would probably be Berrettini, -4.5. But that again, that's one of those sharp lines that I would probably kind of want to stay away from. So yeah, this one would be hard to read too, for me. So fade, slight lean towards Berrettini. But that's really all I have to say about this matchup. I'm ready to put it behind us.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe Berrettini is set for another run here. Who knows? He has been playing well.
Yeah.
Next up, Stefanos versus Cilic. Um, this is really tough as well. Just looking at the lines, um, just considering the matchup of, with no context, with no lines or nothing, I feel like this might be a little closer
I have the
than
line
the
right here
lines
for you if you want to
suggest.
know. Or do you have the line?
Oh no, I see him.
Oh,
They
okay.
they're kind of they confuse me. I mean, -5 and over under 20. I think once again this is really tough. Yeah, yeah. Tsitsipas, I don't know. It's tough. His -5 is tough. I don't see this game going under 20, but I can't make myself say over 20 either. I think it's really tough. Uh, I would lean over 20. I think we see one close set before Tsitsipas pulls away, um, or maybe after Tsitsipas pulls away. I don't know. But over 20 would be my lean here.
Okay. This is one that I probably would stay away from, but rather than fading, I think my favorite play here, even though I can't really play it, would be Stefanos in 2 sets. Well, I'm assuming, or actually, I'm sure the line is pretty juicy on that. So yeah, that would be my pick. Even though it's probably not something I would play because I can't, but also the line's probably not a very good one. But yeah,
It's -250 in
yeah,
case you're
never mind,
curious.
never mind. It's a fade. We're going fade.
Yeah, I mean, good bet nonetheless. It is just juicy, yeah.
Yeah, so
Um,
double fade here.
yes, sir. All right. Why is this not loading? All right, next up, Martin Fucsovics versus Dominic Thiem. Um, this is an easy bet for me. None of these guys have been performing well on the clay. Um, I mean, Dominic Thiem had a little run in Madrid last week. He did have a bye. I mean, which always makes your run look that that much better. But I mean, he played Isner, which is like not really. That's just a little bump on the road. But he did get rolled by Zverev, who's obviously much better than Fucsovics. But Fucsovics, considering he hasn't been that great on clay, looked pretty good against Nishioka a couple days ago. I think that was 6-2, 6-love. So I'm gonna take the games here. It's that sharp line plus 4.5. So I'm gonna take the plus 4.5 for Fucsovics.
Okay.
Um,
Um.
maybe he pulls this off in straights. Who knows?
Wow. That's a bold one. So I'm trying to find the
Or you
line here.
know what? If even if team wins in straights, I think he can cover.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, the spread is sitting at 4. Um, this is not one that I'm super confident about anything in. I do think that team will more than likely win in straight sets. Um, I don't know if you have the line there for me, but I think team will probably win in straight sets personally. Just based off of the fact that Fucsovics, whenever he does lose, it's normally in a two setter. He doesn't win very often. In his last 5 losses, he's lost in straight sets, and I think in a majority of those, he lost the first set either fairly close or a little bit closer, and then the second set he tends to just kind of fall apart when he's down. So I think I would probably take team in straight sets personally.
Yeah, that's not a bad bet. That his 2-0 is -130, which I think is reasonably priced if you want to bet that. It's not too juicy or anything. Um, but I mean I think he can pull it off in straight sets. Both of these players have good serves, and if they're both serving well, we may very well see a tiebreak. And even if team wins in straights, I think the plus 4.5 would look good.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, should be good. It's nice to see two. It's always nice to see two clay quarters go at it on a clay court, but it's also nice to see two like hard court specialists also play on clay. Um, it's not as sexy, I guess. Um, but no, it's a cool matchup nonetheless. Moving on, we got Lorenzo Sonego versus Gianluca Mager, an all Italian matchup in Rome. Um, this is tough, man. Neither of these guys impress me, and no one has an advantage or disadvantage. I mean, they're both Italian. I think this game should be closer to a pick. Um, since it's not, I would lean Mager. Uh, just because of that reason, I feel like this is anyone's game. I see it as a 50-50. No reason Sonego should be minus 160 in my eyes. Um, it could go over, but I feel like that's a fool's bet. Could be a little dog and over situation, but if I had to make one bet, it would be Mager on the money line.
Yeah, I agree completely. Mainly based off of the fact that Sonego should have put Monfils out of his misery early. Just based off of the fact that Monfils is kind of not where he used to be. And then Mager had a pretty impressive showing against ADM. I think I would probably lean the same Mager money line. Like you said, this probably should be closer to a pick'em. But yeah, since he is the dog, I think I would definitely rock with that. I think he could win in straight sets, even personally. Um, the over could be potentially in play, but I think whoever wins this first set will more than likely. Or I think if Sonego wins the first set, I think we'll see three. I think if Mager wins the first set, then I think it's a 2-0 finish for Mager. But money line is definitely the safer bet here.
Yeah, you're right. Mager looked convincing against ADM for sure, more than Sonego did against Monfils today. So I think you're onto something. If Mager picks up the first set, I don't think his performance will drop or anything in the second. So I do think that's a move. I like it a little bit more now. Now that you say that, and he leads the head-to-head 3-1. Uh,
All on clay.
yeah, all the better as well. Next up, yeah. Where was I? Sorry. Andrei Rublev versus Jan Leonard Struff. Um, again, man, this is a tough one. Rublev did not look like himself on in Madrid. He lost to Isner, I believe. I might be making that up. I think he lost to Isner. He did. Um, and I don't know. He didn't look like his usual self. He, when the clay season started, I believe in Monte Carlo, uh, he beat Nadal, didn't he? He started off hot. He's kind of fallen off now. He looks really angry and annoyed with himself, and it's not a good look on any player, but it's definitely not a good look on Rublev. He does best. I mean, he's known for being like a cool customer, calm and composed all the time.
Yeah.
But we didn't see that last week in Madrid. So another ballsy pick, the 4.5 line. I'm gonna take the dog plus 4.5. I don't expect him to win or nothing, but I mean he could very well cover that 4.5.
Yeah. Yeah. Rublev definitely hasn't been himself since Monte Carlo. Um, Here, this is another one. This is a tight matchup for me. I don't like you said. I don't think Struff will pull out the win, but I think this is one of those like those the sharper lines that would be kind of tough to pick a side. Because it could go one way or the other, and there's really not a lot to back either side. Struff has looked fairly impressive. He does make some first round exits, as we saw in Madrid and Monte Carlo. While Rublev tends to come out pretty hot, other than the second round in Madrid when he started off taking Tommy Paul to 3 sets. He lost the first one in a tiebreak and then kind of ran the match from there. So potentially, I would lean Rublev actually, just based off of their like typical first round performance. But the only thing that kind of makes me want to fade that is Rublev's kind of decline in performance and Struve's impressive showing against Badin.
Yeah, that's absolutely spot on. This should be a good one. I'd be very surprised if Struff uh, pulls off the upset, but I wouldn't rule it out. In all honesty. Um, all right, next up, man. This might be the most one-sided game on the slate. Alexander Zverev versus Hugo Delin. Um, this is really tough, man. It's hard to gauge these sort of like lopsided matchups in the ATP compared to the WTA because usually with this sort of line, with someone as good and as hot as Zverev is at the moment, um, I would go under 19. I'd make a case for a spread, but end up taking the under. However, man, I just feel like that's really tough. I mean, it does happen uh more than we think in the ATP. The games do go under 19. It's fairly one sided, like a 6-6 love 6-2, um, something like that. But that would be my play under 19. Not super confident about it. I think Zverev definitely all about momentum and rhythm. He's sort of that guy, and when he's hot, he's hot. He's on it. And he just won Madrid, so run
Yeah.
it back.
Yeah, this is a heat check for him. If he wants to kind of continue, I think he needs to come out pretty strong. I didn't have a pick in place prior to us just now speaking on this matchup. Um, the under, that's so low for an ATP under, as you were saying, but as you said, it does hit. It's not off the table. But I think this would be a fade for me. I think it'd be an interesting one to watch. Just because Dillian could potentially put up a fight, but I just don't see any chance for him to come close to Zverev and where he's at currently. So this would be a fade for me, but I like what you're saying about the under. But fade it.
All right, moving on. Stefano Travaglia versus Dennis. That's a fade. Total fade.
For me, yeah. Wait, which one are you talking about? The Zverev?
Oh no, sorry. I moved on to Stefano Travaglia and
Oh,
Denis Shapovalov.
Shapovalov. Okay, gotcha. Um,
Um,
you go first. You go first.
you all right? This is I don't know, man. This is tricky. I totally misread the matchup with Shapovalov and our boy Madge today. That was definitely the one bet of the day that I would take back if I could. He looked fantastic though. I mean, it was a very convincing win from start to finish. Travaglia played Benoit Payer, and he took her business fairly easily a couple days ago. Um, I don't know, man. It's tough. I think I'm gonna go Shapovalov minus 3.5. Uh, I talk down on him all the time, but I think he might be locked in here and ready to play. So I mean, and Travaglia ain't all that either. So uh, minus 3.5, I think favors the favorite. So I'm gonna rock with that. I think.
Yeah, I think this one would be, uh, as you know, I save my fades for the ATP. This one would be partial fade, partial Shapovalov. Just based on the fact that Maj, he didn't have a ton of like big stage experience coming into that matchup, so I think he might have been a little bit overvalued. And there was a lot of uncertainty to how that was going to go, and he kind of got exposed. Hopefully, we'll see the kid again. Hopefully, he'll be back coming around at some point. But I think that Shapovalov potentially might be a little bit overvalued, although -3 does kind of favor the favorite here, because it could be a quick two-setter, 1x2, 1x2, and you're winning. But yeah, I think if I was gonna make a pick, I would kind of tell you there, but overall, I'd probably fade this.
All right, fair enough. And I'm not gonna allow you to fade or pass on this match, which is the last one on the slate. Rafael Nadal versus Yannick Sinner, man. What a game. This is like a long anticipated game. Like a lot of people have been wanting to see this. Um, what a game this will be. I'm gonna just come out and say it. I'm gonna take Sinner, plus 4.5. It was plus 5 when I saw it earlier this morning. And that ship has sailed a little bit. However, his plus 4.5 is at even money. Um, and I don't know, man. I don't think I want to turn that down. To be honest,
You think he gets a
Rafael's
set?
um perhaps, man. Dude, he could win. Honestly, Nadal looked very far from his usual self um, against Zverev. Uh, when he knocked him out in Madrid.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. He's dealing a little bit in his interviews. He's talking about slowing down, playing less tournaments. Like I don't know what's good with him. I mean, clearly he's up there in age and has played like a million matches. But as far as how like this will affect him in the moment, I don't know. But I do like a good story, and I'd love to see the future take down the past, if you like, or the present. Um,
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
I think we've
yeah, yeah.
definitely seen a different side of Nadal in that matchup. I think that I would probably lean the other direction here, maybe a Nadal -4.5. I think it's probably a little bit juiced considering that the +4.5 is at even, like you said. I just think that we can't base Nadal's performance off of that one matchup. He has had some pretty like commanding victories in his runs at Barcelona and in Madrid, even at Monte Carlo. He wins a lot of games by a large margin. And while I do think Sinner is up and coming, he's done pretty damn well himself. Made it to the semifinals in Barcelona, losing to Tsitsipas. I think Nadal he's really hungry after losing in the quarterfinals, and I think he'll come out firing. I think it'll be a really good one to watch for sure. Definitely to end the day. Not gonna fade it more. I don't know. Maybe I will because of your confidence in Sinner, but I think I would probably lean Nadal here. I think we can't really count him out just based off of that performance. Um, I might have to crack the safe here. We'll see.
Oh yeah, fair enough, man. I would definitely take that on. Nadal is, he is Nadal after all. I think it'll be a pretty interesting one. It's just nice to see if Sinner plays with confidence or not. Obviously, if he comes out, pretty nervous or tentative, that bet won't probably look too good for very long. So, I guess that wraps up the ATP portion of the podcast. Um, Really excited, man. As the days go by, the matchups get better and better, and the stakes are higher and higher. So, um, I'm pretty excited.
I got one thing to say. Lock in Kudermetova -4 right now before it moves. Do it.
Oh yes, yes, of course, yes, good one.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I think I'm really excited. I think we have a lot to agree on this time. A little bit different than the last episode. I think as we get closer and further along in the tournaments, the quality of play will really show, and I think we'll probably have a little bit more to agree upon. I think the first round's just a little bit different, just because there's so many different types of players and different skill levels. So I think we're gonna start to see um, a lot more matchups that we agree upon, and I think we're gonna make a nice run here.
yeah, bro, absolutely. I think we'll do better and better as this goes on. We'll have more to go on as well, and that people won't bum out and kind of throw a game if they're deep into the tournament. They're gonna want to take it for real if they made it this far. But yeah, we get to see so many good players tomorrow. Serena's playing, Sabalenka, Kvitova, Barty. Man, some really good games as well. Exciting times on both slates.
Yeah. I'm super stoked. It's gonna be fantastic. As always, guys, if you're wanting to follow our official picks, definitely head on down to the link in the description. Hit the Discord. We post all types of plays there, all different types of sports, and you'll see our official picks there. We definitely kind of wean out some of the picks that we kind of are disagreeing with, or things that we kind of lose confidence in as the matches approach. But all of our official plays will be posted in there, so check it out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace, and see you guys tomorrow.
Peace and love.